All right, here we go, guys. We got the next guest loading into the live. What is up, Matthew? Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Why is that?
For the same four reasons the American people voted. Do you know the top four reasons?
So I want to know why you support the Trump administration.
Okay, I'll
Lay it
tell
on
you.
me.
Yeah. Border, inflation, economy.
Well, you said top four reasons. I hope you could
Oh,
count
yeah, and the
because that
last
was
one was
three.
safeguarding democracy. Because that's a joke. And Dean, honestly, I believe you can't debate. I believe that's why your Unfuck America tour. You can't mute people in real life. So this is your
Honey.
like stay in your lane, bro. This is what you do.
Matthew, oh, honey. So
This is what you do, Dean.
there's
You're a
about
TikTok debater, bro.
there's about a million reasons why the Unfuck America tour crumbled, but
Yeah.
my ability to debate or not to debate was not one of them.
Oh,
Okay.
trust me, it is, bro. It is.
Okay, then then beat me in a debate.
Oh,
Well,
we
we're
will.
just gonna go ahead and respond to the last thing that you just said there.
So border's down
You told you
95%, inflation's down 2.6%. What can you say about that? I mean, that's why we voted, right? Top four reasons,
okay,
right?
Matthew. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and address every single one of them independently.
Cool.
We're gonna start with the last one because it's quite possibly the most egregious. You said to safeguard
No,
democracy.
it's because you believe that no one else does. Let's talk about why people voted. Border
So Matthew,
down 95%.
we're gonna talk about that. Do you? If I'm so bad at debating, why are you interrupting me?
Because you want to talk about the least out of the four, you want to talk about the least one, the one that's literally no one really voted for.
You told me
That
that's
that
why
one
you
popped
voted.
up. That one somehow popped up on an Atlas Intel poll because that's the only polling I actually listened to.
Okay, how about we do this? I'm gonna
Most
go ahead and
accurate.
give my Spark note response to Spark Note. I don't know if that's what it's called. I'm just gonna go ahead and give my very quick responses to all four of those points, and then you could kind of choose what point you want to respond to, and we'll take it from there. To the last
Sure.
point about protecting democracy, Donald Trump has explicitly called for the termination of the Constitution. In 2020, he tried to silence the voice and the vote of the democracy by trying to install himself for a second term. My evidence is his own admittance in court. Bam! Point over. Next point, economy. Right now, we are barreling towards a recession. All major institutions of finance are reporting this. We're talking the Atlanta Fed. We're talking the Federal Reserve and the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell. We're talking JP Morgan. We're talking Goldman Sachs. And all of these predictions have just come in after Donald Trump has implemented his tariffs on every other country in the world, and they did not exist before Trump was in office. In fact, on the day of the inauguration, the Atlanta Fed projected a 4% rate of growth in the American GDP in this financial quarter, so it is 110% the fault of Donald Trump. So when you say he's good for the economy, no, he's just good at killing the economy by sending it into a recession and redistributing wealth from the poor to the rich. That's according to the Institute on Taxation and Economics. Wow. Now, to your point about the border, okay, I believe that Donald Trump is worse for immigration, or was worse for immigration than Kamala Harris, and here's why. It's because he has no long-term solutions to reduce undocumented migration into America. He only has like band-aids on a bullet wound because we first have to understand what causes undocumented entry into this country in the first place, and I'd say that is unequivocally the fact that the legal means of entry into America are slow, they're expensive, and they've been neglected by Congress for essentially all of modern American history. The only way that we could have a president that reduces undocumented entry in the long term is if they make the legal processes of migration into America better now. Okay, and the only candidate that ran on any policy that would have done something similar to that was Kamala Harris. And in fact, Donald Trump fought against policy that did something similar to that under Biden when he told all Republicans to vote against the bipartisan border bill. So, Matthew, you told me I'm not good at debating, so I bet you have cogent rebuttals
I do.
locked and loaded in the chamber for everything I just said. Take it away.
Absolutely, I do. So you did forget one about inflation. You want to hit on that real quick because there was four
Sure. Hey, I have a
before you
question.
pass me the mic, buddy.
Sure, we'll hit on inflation real quick. What happens in a recession? Do people spend less money? Ruby,
So
thank you
you're
for the
not you're not you're
the
not gonna
sunglasses.
hit on inflation, I don't think.
Well,
So just hand me the
doing.
mic now.
That's what I'm doing right
No
now,
muting
Matthew.
anymore.
That's what I'm doing right now, Matthew. In a
So
recession,
I gave you.
unless you have stagflation, people spend less money. That's what causes reduction in GDP growth. What does it mean when people spend less money? They save more of it. When people are saving more of their money and spending less, that creates lower levels of demand for goods, which does what to the equilibrium price? It sends it down. Rihanna, thank you for the galaxy. So unless stagflation is present inside of a recession, you'll actually see deflation. And the last time we had a recession where we didn't have deflation was in the 70s with the oil crisis. That's where the price of oil was going up even though the economy was in a recession. And like, funny enough, that actually might happen now, even. At least that's what the chairman of the Federal Reserve had to say, the one appointed by Trump.
All right. So you ready for some facts, buddy? And so you look like you're trying to lie for somebody. That's what it looks like. So I just want to say the facts are border crossings are down 95%. Inflation's down 2.6%. You say that Donald Trump doesn't fight for a long-term border solution. The truth is we don't need a bill, and that's living proof of the Trump administration. We didn't need a bill. The fact is Biden just let people in by the millions. And you say tariffs are the reason for a poor economy? Well, we took in $16 billion and inflation is down. So we're taking in money from other countries while inflation is down, and we're not seeing any inflation in groceries, rent, housing prices like we did in 2022, where those things doubled. This is all common sense shit. So I don't know how you're going to argue it. You're going to need to manipulate pretty good here.
Okay, Matthew. Well, first and foremost, it's really cute that you think that you're a good debater because you could read off of Google. But I do appreciate you for providing me with the facts nonetheless. In response to your first point, you said that border crossings were down over 90%. That's actually true, yeah. And I'd say the main reason why that's true is because of Donald Trump's short-term solutions and disrespect of human rights. You know, when you deport a man to a death prison in El Salvador without due process, and then you have the Supreme Court tell you that was unconstitutional and you need to bring him back, and then you're straight up saying, no, I'm not going to do that. Fuck the Constitution. Fuck due process. Fuck human rights. I'm sure that less people are going to want to enter. Okay, and
that's on top President Bukele did with El Salvador.
Illegally, and that's what that's on top of what like Trump has done illegally to attempt to terminate asylum practices or deport like droves of undocumented migrants to Venezuela on planes without providing them due process. And now we have a federal judge ruling that they may be held in contempt of court. The fact of the matter is, you're right. Border crossings are down, but a lot of the reasons why border crossings are down are really bad ones, and definitely nothing that serves to reduce undocumented migration into America in the long term. So there's the first point. Would you want to maybe start there, respond to that?
Absolutely, dude.
Okay.
So you seem like the dude who would probably support El Salvador becoming the most dangerous place on earth, too, right?
What?
Yeah,
I don't understand this response to a single claim.
Well, here's a response. You're saying Trump's doing a bad thing by getting rid of illegal immigrants and criminals. So that just seems like the same mindset that El Salvador had when they were the most dangerous place on earth.
Okay, so you think that he's doing a good thing.
It's kind of funny. Hold on.
I just want to clarify. Sorry, Matthew. I'm not holding on.
Last 3 seconds.
How can you?
I know you're getting triggered, Dean. Last 3 seconds here.
Hey, Matthew. How could you say that it's a good thing for Trump to break the law, but it's a bad
last
thing
3
for
seconds here
to break the law?
Last 3 seconds. I'll finish. It seems like you don't like the job Bukele did with El Salvador, turning them the most dangerous to one of the safest places on earth, and he agrees more than anyone else with Trump. So, I mean, how can you call yourself American first?
You're losing it now. You're really losing the argument now. You're out.
No, I'm just thinking, like, how can you call yourself America first?
Yeah, well, it's because I respect and hold to core American values such as freedoms for all, including non-citizens, and due process in respect to the Constitution. And that's something that you don't. In fact, you just said that you supported it. But before we get into that, I'm actually going to go live on YouTube because I want to make sure I got this one clipped. So if you would just kind of give me a minute here, Matthew. Hello. Oh, it looks like we're not even plugged into YouTube. In the meantime, guys, make sure that we are double tapping away on that phone screen, everyone, while we get the YouTube live set up. Hello, yeah, this is going rough. Rough start to the YouTube stream today. Hello and welcome into the YouTube stream. I apologize, there's no audio there for the start of the stream. I had to get my shit figured out. We're going to go and hop straight into the debates. In fact, we're already in the middle of a debate with a man by the name of Matthew. I just had to start the stream on YouTube because it was so good, couldn't miss out. So the last question that the last statement that Matthew made was that he actually thinks it's a good thing that Donald Trump has ignored the Supreme Court and deported undocumented migrants without due process to Sikat, a death camp in El Salvador. So here's my question to you, Matthew. Why do you think it's okay when Donald Trump breaks and ignores the law? In fact, you support it, calling it a good thing, calling it an American first thing. But then when undocumented migrants do it, it's a problem.
For the same reason President Bukele liberated millions and locked up thousands.
Okay, so can you clarify on what that reason is?
Yeah, so if people are coming to our country illegally, they should be deported.
Oh, okay. So why
Yeah.
should they be deported? Because they broke the law?
Yeah, because they
Oh, okay.
came in here illegally.
So I just want to clarify, if you're going to
Right.
hold like this unilateral standard, should we also deport Trump because you just admitted he broke the law?
Did he come in here illegally? That's what I said. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just making it clear is why
What
do
are
you
you doing
so
right
do you
now?
so why so do you
You
ever
good?
do you ever think it's a good thing to violate
You
the
heard what I
Constitution?
said, Dean.
I don't think you heard what I said. Do you support the Constitution, Matthew?
Absolutely.
Okay, so then why do you support Donald Trump infracting the Constitution?
Because the Constitution isn't perfect and we want to put America first.
Okay, so when you say you support the Constitution, what do you mean?
I support the Constitution.
I know, but like, what
I
does that
don't
mean?
support illegal immigration. You do.
Can you just tell me what that means? Like, what does it
You
mean?
incentivize and support illegal immigration,
Well,
Dean.
you're not answering my question. What does it mean to support the Constitution?
I do support the Constitution.
I'm asking you what it means to support the Constitution. Like, do you want me
Proponent
to
of the
repeat this?
Constitution. Yeah.
What does it mean to be a proponent of the Constitution?
What are you talking about?
I'll repeat
How do we
myself.
get from President
So
Bukele
don't worry. I'll repeat myself because you
to
just asked what I was
deporting
talking about.
illegal
Hey,
immigrants?
Matthew, you just asked me what I was
So
talking about.
all of a
it's
sudden, because
hey, Matthew, stop it. You just asked me
5
what
seconds,
no, no,
Dean.
no,
Yeah, 5 seconds.
no, because you asked me what I was talking about. I'd like to
Triggered,
clarify.
bro, but chill out.
I'm not
5
triggered.
seconds, Dean.
You asked me a question. I want to clarify. You asked me what am I talking about. Once again, what I'm talking about is you're telling me that you support the Constitution.
I'm pretty
but you
triggered, Dean.
simultaneously support constitutional violations. So if like, and this is why I'm clarifying
Okay.
what you mean when
5
you say
seconds,
you support the
Dean.
Constitution, because like seemingly like a
I
justified.
know you're trying to manipulate and do all this shit right now. It doesn't work with me. I got a 5-second question for you. What about me
Matthew,
not supporting illegal?
Before you ask me your question, I want a response to mine because you still have not answered my question of like, what does it mean when you say that you support the Constitution? In fact, you asked for clarification. You asked me what I was talking about. So, what I'm talking about is a fact.
This
that you
is
said-
exactly why you can't debate in real life because you got to mute. So what about
what do
me
you mean-
supporting? What about
can't
you
debate in real
supporting?
life? Okay.
Hey, what about me supporting?
At chat, we're gonna go ahead and let Matthew deflect. Everybody,
Yeah.
let's hear his deflection. Take it away.
Okay. So what about me supporting deporting illegal immigrants is so bad about the Constitution or so horrible for America?
Yeah, so I mean, you asked me two separate questions there. Only the first question you asked is relevant to the question I'm asking you. You said, what about me supporting deporting undocumented migrants concerns the Constitution? Because you also support deporting undocumented migrants when in violation of the Constitution, because proper proceedings as well as due process are not given to the undocumented migrants. That's the issue I'm taking. You know, and I don't believe that you can say you support the Constitution, you're a true patriot of the backbone of this country, while also supporting legislation and executive movement that is antithetical to the Constitution. And this isn't just a claim on my part. I mean, this claim was made by whom? The Supreme Court. The Supreme Court ruled that the Trump administration had to facilitate the return of Abrigo Garcia because they deported him
It did.
in an unconstitutional manner. So, in other words, I guess all that I'm asking
And they
you to
did.
clarify on here, Matthew, don't interrupt me. You just said that I can't debate because I interrupted you. Look at what you're doing to me right now. So, anyways,
You're right.
what I want you to respond to is how can you say that you simultaneously do support the Constitution and don't support the Constitution?
Yeah, I already responded to that. I don't think the Constitution is perfect. I put America first. And people voted for this border, number one reason. So go take another hit of that little pen you got there. Because you need to think
it's
a little more
lavender
clear,
and
bud.
caramel. I like how you
Cool.
you stop talking
Cool,
mid-sentence.
brother.
I like how you stop talking mid-sentence in response
Uh-huh.
in response
No,
to
I'm
my
just
question
calling
about
you
your
out, bro.
position
Keep
to talk
doing
about
it.
my anxiety pin.
Cool.
Just correct me if I'm wrong here, but what I hear you saying is that you think it's okay to like do something illegal and to violate the law, including like constitutional law, if it leads to a higher quality of life for Americans, right?
Yeah, and that's why I asked you, why don't you support President Bukele when he made it the safest place on earth? That's the same reason why you don't support Trump.
Hey,
Because he's
Matthew.
doing something good for Americans.
Hey, Matthew.
But you have TDS.
Hey
bro.
Matthew,
You have TDS.
you just justified undocumented migration into this country. I can't believe that. You just told us that it's okay to do illegal things if it
Go ahead,
increases
explain.
qualities of life in this country. So
What,
undocumented
deporting
migration.
illegal immigrants, bro?
Matthew,
Yes.
what are we doing with
Let's
the
deport
interruptions?
illegal immigrants.
Matthew,
It's not that hard of
I'm
a
gonna mute you
concept.
on the countdown of 5 if you don't stop interrupting me. Okay, I think you need to learn your manners.
Well, don't put words in my mouth, Dean.
Okay.
Thanks.
Well, I'm not putting words in your mouth.
Thanks,
I'm
little
making an
bro.
argument.
Appreciate you.
No, I appreciate you, little bro. Now, to finish what I was saying without interruption from hopefully you this time, I think you need to, hopefully check your manners, man. I mean, this is supposed to be a productive, good faith conversation. You just told us all that you literally support doing illegal things, violating the law, even if it's constitutional law, if it leads to higher qualities of life in this country. The reason that justifies undocumented migration into America is because undocumented immigrants in this country increase the average quality of life. Why would I say such a thing? Well, I could tell you. They are projected to add over $1 trillion to the American economy in the next 10 years. They pay over $100 billion in taxes on the federal, state, and local level every single year. Okay, so they add to the economy, right? They give our government more money. Which creates a further economic surplus in this country. They are productive providers, as well as they are 2 times less likely per capita to commit violent crimes than you or I, natural U.S.-born citizens. So do we see now how undocumented migrants actually do increase the average quality of life in this country? And because you think it's okay to violate the law, if and only if it increases the average qualities of life, this must mean that you do support undocumented migration into America.
All right, 2 things, Dean. You said projections. What are the stats as of right now? How much undocumented people pay, illegal immigrants pay? I don't want to hear about your bullshit projections. I want to see the facts.
Yeah, well, the fact of the
Do you
matter
know
is
the
that,
facts, or are you just saying bullshit?
the fact of the matter is that
Tell me the
right now-
facts, bud.
The fact of the matter is that in the fiscal year of 2022 alone, they paid $95.6 billion in federal, state, and local taxes. The average effective tax rate is around 33%. So this means that they added close to $300 billion to their GDP just in the money expensed and paid to them alone. And this doesn't account for the money that they expense out to other individuals operating inside of the market. So they're actually, now that I do the calculations, they will add more than $1 trillion to the American GDP in the next 10 years.
So
They're actually going to add $1 trillion to the into government revenue in the next 10 years. So I was way off.
$5.6 billion. What year was that?
The fiscal year of 2022.
Oh, so why 2 years ago, buddy?
Well, because it's remained a consistent year by year, and the only reason I reference the
Why
fiscal year of
wouldn't you
2022
reference this last
specifically
year?
is because for 2022 I have a source from the House fucking Republicans, so you can't deny it.
Okay, great. So that's great. So how much do we subsidize these people when we put them in hotel rooms in New York and California, where we subsidize the fuck out of them? So how much do we subsidize them? Because I think there's 2 sides of the equation, not just one. So yeah, they might be paying tax money, probably 2 or 3 times that.
Unplug my mic. Sorry, everyone. I plugged the whole mic. I can't hear or speak right now. Just give it a minute. It looks like Matthew's on mute for whatever reason.
So how much do they get subsidized? I think there's 2 sides to the equation. There's a plus and a minus side. So yeah, they might be given 69 or whatever number you said billion in taxpayer, which I don't know any illegal immigrant that's voluntarily paying taxes when most of them get paid under the table, because I live in Southern California and I know. But let me ask you, how much are we subsidizing these people? Because that's the other side of the equation. When we put these people up in hotel rooms throughout Biden's presidency and other things, how we subsidize illegal immigrants in California and sanctuary cities.
Great, thank you for the very long-winded question. First, I need to,
Yes, sir.
of your misinformation. The first bit of information that you shared that was false was the fact that they pay $69 billion per year in taxes. No, it's closer to $100 billion. The second bit of misinformation that you shared was false. I let you speak, Matthew. You're back to that thing of interruption. The second bit of misinformation that you shared was false. You made the claim that over 50% of undocumented migrants in America get paid under the table. you just simply provided no evidence for that fact. You said it's because you live in Southern California, so of course you'd know what every single undocumented migrant in America does, which is completely egregious and completely outrageous. I think we need to. I think that we need to understand who comes with facts and who comes with feelings
Just
into
playing
this debate.
stupid. That's all.
Another debate. Sorry, another interruption, Matthew. I mean, you're really good at that. I understand, but I'm gonna go and put you on mute just because you interrupted me. And then third and final bit of misinformation that you shared was the fact that New York subsidizes undocumented migrants hotels to live in. That's simply not true. So the systems of benefit that you're referencing specifically apply to asylum seekers who are not undocumented migrants and who are here legally.
And I think that's the number one reason why people went out and voted was the border, because they were tired of everyone claiming
You're
asylum.
pivoting.
No, I'm not. We're talking about asylum,
no,
right?
No,
And we're
we're
talking
not
about New York,
no.
right?
No, we're talking about
legal immigration,
undocumented
right?
migrants. No, we're talking about undocumented migrants.
So you're going to cut me
you're
off,
making
right?
yes, because you're pivoting.
Okay.
You made the
All right.
counterclaim to my position that it is not true that they're productive providers.
Some more.
You're making the counterclaim to my position that it's not true they're productive providers because our government subsidizes them, and then you said one way that our government subsidizes them is by giving them hotels in New York. That claim is false. Okay, no. Undocumented migrants are not provided free housing in New York. They don't live in hotels for free. That is completely false.
Muting, bud.
Okay. Well, yeah. The reason why I muted you was for the productivity of the conversation due to the fact that you're pivoting.
I
and
wish
to
I
make sure
could
that
mute
that's
you,
stopped.
but I can't do that, can I?
Nope, you can't.
No. Yeah. So you're a TikTok debater. That's what you are.
And
New
I'm damn
York.
good at it too.
We all know. Yeah, that's fine, and that's why this tour went to dog shit. That's why you guys.
There's a billion
busted
reasons
people and
why.
had no one there.
There's a billion reasons why the tour went to shit. My ability to debate was not one of them. But once again, thanks for
How
another pivot.
business
Matthew.
works. That's the whole problem with your party. You guys have no idea about the real world.
Yeah,
And
another
your party's
pivot.
getting more and more left.
Hey man, I understand that you're getting
And
very upset
you're not
and angry.
concerned
I
with
need
the
you to
American
calm down.
people's concerns about
Matthew,
borders,
I really
about the
need
border.
you to I really need you to calm down.
Okay. Yeah.
You're getting very mad, and because you're getting very mad, you're pivoting. So stop pivoting and respond
Chill out.
exactly what I said. You made the claim that our government subsidizes undocumented migrants and gives them free hotels in the state of New York. That claim's not true. It's just simply false.
Yeah. There's video evidence of that
Okay, video evidence of what?
in a lot of places.
Of what?
Of U.S. citizens getting mad that they're shoving legal immigrants in 5-star hotels in New York.
Okay, so
And that
I'm
that was
curious.
during Biden's
So the
presidency.
video evidence of undocumented migrants having free housing in the state of New York.
Now,
how
I'm
does video
also-
evidence? How, wait,
I'm
wait,
also
wait, wait,
gonna
wait, wait.
say this.
How does video evidence identify their status? Can you tell by looking at someone if they're an asylum seeker or an undocumented migrant? Because apparently that'd be your claim, right?
With actually how the American people feel.
Okay,
And
so you're
that's
saying
why
that
you
they're
guys are
undocumented
getting
migrants because you feel that
further
way?
and further left and pushing everyone to the right.
Matthew, I just want to
You got a
clarify.
small clique of people that agree with.
Matthew, I just want to understand. So your evidence that they're undocumented migrants that are subsidized by our government is just that you feel like they are? Really, bud? Come on, do better. That's literally what your claim is. You're saying, I feel like undocumented migrants are subsidized by the government, therefore they are. Come on. Really? Dude.
You know what's sad and what's most important though is how the American people feel. It's not how your little clique feels. bud.
Exactly. You're saying
Yeah.
the most important thing is how the
Yes.
American people feel. So if you
Yes.
say that the American people feel like the government is subsidizing undocumented migrants, therefore the government is subsidizing undocumented migrants. Okay, Matthew, facts over feelings. Okay, because if we could operate off of what we feel,
Facts over
I
feelings.
feel like I'm talking to an idiot. Therefore, you are.
360 days left, buddy.
So do you want to address my point or not? So once again, the point that I want you to
We
address.
do subsidize illegal
Okay,
immigrants.
I'm
here.
seriously, I'm just
Especially
waiting.
in
I'm
California.
waiting for the evidence that the state of New York gives hotels to them.
Video evidence, like I said.
And once again, I responded to that. How could video
Yeah,
evidence?
and now you're just
Hey,
playing
Matthew,
stupid,
can I finish speaking?
acting like it never happened when
Matthew,
it did.
can I finish speaking without you interrupting me? How can video evidence identify if an individual is an asylum seeker, a resident, a citizen, or an undocumented migrant?
I don't know how video evidence can do that.
Because it can't.
The news,
The news? Well, I mean,
the
evidence-
left-wing media, right-wing media agreeing on there's illegal immigrants in 5-star hotels in New York about a year and a half ago.
Okay, so if they're reporting this, there must be evidence to substantiate it. So let me know what the evidence is. Or are you just saying whatever the
about
news
a year
says
and a half
is true?
ago, bro.
So is your claim like whatever the news says is true?
Claim is video evidence.
Okay, well, once again, you already ruled out video evidence as being able to justify your claim when you said that video evidence cannot identify if an individual is a resident, a citizen, an asylum seeker, an undocumented migrant. So
So,
you're literally saying that you're like using a standard of evidence to justify your
so
claim
this
that you
is what
know
I
can't
would say.
justify your
When
claim.
both medias, left and right wing media, are both agreeing on something, I would say it's true.
Okay, so I mean, what did they agree on? Now just give me the reporting that they are. Please give me the reporting from left wing media or right wing media. The undocumented migrants are being housed in hotels in
Just
New
to
York.
clarify, this was in the Biden administration. So if you're playing stupid like I'm talking about right now, I'm obviously not.
I don't even know what you just said. Would you be able to give me a source that would report this information
Yeah.
that specifically undocumented migrants are housed in hotels in New York?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, do it.
And, for the second time, I'm talking about this is when Biden was in office.
Yeah.
This is not happening right now, dude.
Oh
So,
yeah, sure. So what's your source?
Fox News, CNN, but
Okay.
I'm
So
gonna.
that's the name of a publication. I'm
No,
gonna
no,
read
no,
a
no, no.
specific
Listen,
title of an
I'm gonna
article.
get you the exact website where you can pull up the video as long as you promise of pulling up the video and showing everybody.
You already
You
said
do
that you already said that a video cannot identify somebody's residency status.
Well, here we go again. You know what I said after that, though, right?
You didn't say anything after that.
I said when left and right wing media agree on something, then it's probably true. What do you think?
I've still yet to see the reporting. Just please give me an article.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you the exact website.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're looking for here, bud. For the 6.2 thousand people in the stream, everybody make sure that we're double tapping away on that phone screen and sharing out this live with a handful of friends. Yeah, Matthew is a little bit off the deep end, that's for sure. Matthew kind of came up here a little bit aggressive. He said that, we can't debate at all, and we see how that claim's going so far. So while he's looking for that source, let's go ahead and go over the facts because the facts are important. Undocumented migrants receive very little in benefits from states, and then close to nothing in benefits from the federal government. So the only federal benefit that undocumented migrants receive is access to any emergency room for emergency resources in all 50 states. Okay, that's subsidized through Medicare. They expense out close to $16 billion per year for all uninsured persons that have used emergency rooms in the last year, which would include some undocumented migrants. That's the only federal benefit they receive. Now, per state, you do see different benefits in different places, such as in California. Undocumented migrants receive Medi-Cal, which is a certain form of limited health care for undocumented migrants that fall below a certain income threshold, and they expense out around $3 to $4 billion per year for that. In Colorado, they receive access to some forms of SNAP, and then in Illinois, they also receive access to some forms of health care, and that's really about it. Now, I think that there's some similar programs in other states, but the fact of the matter is that is not changed based upon who's president or who's not president. And at the end of the day, they're still yet protected providers. That's right. So while he's trying to find that source, I say we get another guest up on the live. So it's going to get Anna up in here. And for the 6.2 thousand people watching, appreciate you for being here. Make sure that you're sharing out this live with a handful of friends. What's going on, Anna? Do you support Trump?
No.
Okay, and well, I do appreciate you for coming up, but we are just looking for Trump support.
What's good, Dean?
Actually,
You know what else I just found out, bro? In 2022, guess how much we subsidize illegal immigrants? $96.7 billion. So back to that point now.
Wait, there's no way.
$96.7 billion we subsidize illegal immigrants in 2022.
You must be reading.
There's two sides to the equation, bud. You ready for that source?
Yes.
Yeah, great, dude.
Yes. You know what? I am ready for that source because they paid exactly $96.7 billion in taxes. I'm going to bet money that he's going to come back either with a source that clearly states that they paid that amount in taxes that he misread in a fit of rage, or when he comes back off a pause, he's going to do everything in his power to forget that because he's going to be realizing it right now that he misread that in a fit of rage. Oh, dude, this is terrible for him. What a bad day to be Matthew. What a bad day to be Matthew. Somebody in the chat said you realize he could still hear you. Oh, I know he could still hear me. I know he could still hear me right now. I'll go ahead and repeat myself. I want to be very clear. The figure you just happen to read off is the exact dollar amount they paid in taxes in the fiscal year of 2022. And I bet you're realizing that right now. That wasn't how much the government subsidized, and that's how much they subsidized the government. Thank you. Terrible. Truly terrible. Hey, while he's looking for that source, oh wow, what is Venmo down? Looks like Venmo's down. That's crazy. Okay. While he's
Sorry, it was 150.7 billion.
oh, okay, and you're
So
pulling
yeah,
from
dude.
House Republicans.
So it's more. Sorry, dude.
And you're pulling the $157 billion figure from the House Republicans.
150.7 billion.
Yeah, you're pulling the $150.7 billion from the House Republicans. True?
I'll tell you where I'm pulling it from.
Yeah, I mean it's a budget report from the House Republicans on Congress.gov. I mean I could tell you that, right? I'm correct, right? It's like a PDF on the Congress's website. It's labeled like House Republicans. It's a budget report on how much we expense to them. $150.7 billion per year. That's what you're referencing, right? Let me know. Are you back? Let me know when you're back. I don't know. He's gone again. I guess while Matthew's gone again, I would really like to thank Sid for the $100 super chat over on PayPal.
Yes, that's for 2023.
Thank you so much.
Year 2023.
Thank you so much for the $100 donation on PayPal, Sid. Sid says, "Hi, Dean. Had the worst possible day ever, so I'm so happy you're here. Hope you're taking care of yourself. I love you so much." Last little bit's been a little rough, but I love being here. I just love being with you guys so much, and I really do appreciate you for the $100 donation. I mean that's just insane. Thank you so much for the love, Sid. I want to see 1,000 Sid W's down below in that chat literally right now. Thank you so much for the love, Sid. You are so incredibly kind. You are the best person ever. Thank you so much, Sid. Everybody, please show some love to Sid down below in the chat. All right, Matthew, come back to the stream. It's worth pointing out that I actually can't hear you and you can't see me. And as soon as you come back to the stream, I'll respond to this report from the House Republicans.
Yeah, so that was fiscal year of 2023.
I'm very aware. I'm very aware.
Yeah.
Do you want to know why I dispute the findings of that?
Probably because it's not your side and you don't agree with it.
Actually, not necessarily true. The reason why I dispute the findings of that source is because included inside of the source is billions and billions and billions of dollars paid for the expenses of the education of the U.S. citizen children of undocumented migrants, as well as access to some social safety nets, such as either the child tax credit or SNAP or EBT specifically for the children. Okay. All right, and that's why I find the budget report from the House Republicans for the fiscal year of 2023 that reports that they expensed out $150.7 billion in expenses for undocumented migrants as being complete, total, utter BS. Now, of course,
there's about a $60 billion negative there. So how much of that $60 billion negative are you attributing to what you just said?
Well, it's going to be more than the $60 billion net negative. I think it's closer to all that money, minus like $30 billion. I think that we probably expensed around $30 billion. Now, I mean, I just simply ask you to disprove me by quantifying exactly where that money's being spent.
So
break that $150 billion figure down to me, and quantify exactly where that money's being spent to refute my claim that a vast majority of that funding is going to the U.S. children citizens.
So you say that illegal immigrants pay taxes of $96.7 billion in 2023. You got what you're calling a right-wing source, saying we subsidize them $150 billion. That's $60 billion net negative.
Okay, I just responded to this. I'll respond to this again. I don't mind, but I did just address this twice. I'll go ahead and address it for a third time. So once again, you're saying that I'm calling
just repeating. But what my question is to you, like, how are they paying taxes? What would you say they're paying taxes with?
Okay.
No,
so
just
if your question in response to my question for you to quantify where that $150 billion was
No,
spent
not about the $150 billion.
Hey,
I'm
Matthew,
talking about the $96.7 billion.
I'm going to need a second here to finish speaking. So
Please,
so the question I asked you was to quantify where the $150 billion was spent on undocumented migrants, because I laid out exactly how it's bullshit. Okay. And then, of course, you pivoted away from that question by asking me how undocumented migrants pay taxes. I'll allow the pivot just because it's literally a one-word abbreviation answer, ITINs. So now that I've answered your question, go back
Oh,
to mine that you
great.
dodged.
I love that you
Respond to
said
my
ITIN.
question.
No, I love that you said
The
that.
$150 billion in expenditure on undocumented migrants. Lay it out for me.
So
Where's that money
you
being
think
spent?
illegal immigrants are volunteering to pay taxes with the ITIN number when you can just get paid under the table in cash? Are you that stupid? That's why your Unfuck America tour did not last, because you guys don't understand business or anything.
Hey,
So
are
no
all
illegal
employers
immigrant
willing?
is gonna
Hey,
just
Matthew.
apply for an ITIN number
Hey, Matthew.
when they can get paid under the table.
Hey, Matthew.
Common sense.
Hey, Matthew. You know what's more common sense? Most employers won't break
Putting
the
a
law.
permit for a college
Hey, Matthew. Hey, Matthew. You're crashing out. Okay. You know what's more common sense? The fact that most employers won't even fucking break the law to pay their employees under the table, requiring undocumented
You ever
migrants
seen
in
a
some places
construction
to get
work site, or
ITINs. Boom.
ever done anything in construction in your life?
Wait, are you saying that most companies pay their employees under the table, Matthew? Over 50% of companies?
I'm saying, have you ever worked in construction where it's
Yeah, shut up and answer my question. Can we agree that most companies in America will require their employees to work under a W-2?
you're mad?
Mahalo, thank you for the galaxy. No, you're mad. You just pivoted back to the tour. You're really obsessed with it.
No,
for some
dude.
reason.
You're
my
just
question.
really trying to.
Matthew, the question is, can we agree that like most American companies require their employees to work via W-2? Can we just agree there? Is that common sense?
Not small family-owned businesses or independent contractors.
I'm asking you about the majority of businesses in America that employ Americans.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this.
No, you're not asking me anything. You're answering my question. Is that a yes or no?
So are they taking, what type of skilled labor are they taking?
That's not what I'm asking, Matthew. Can we agree that vast majority of companies in all niches likely require their employees to work for them via W-2 or like a 1099?
Then you won't answer that. Illegal immigrants don't work for companies, bud.
I'm not even talking about big companies. All companies. Majority of all companies in America.
You're muting again, Dean, because you're losing on this debate.
You know, I'm not muting you because I'm losing. It's
illegal immigrants work for small family-owned businesses, not big companies, not the stock exchange or anything like that.
Okay, Matthew.
Get that?
So
independent contractors,
I'm just really
painters,
curious
gardeners, and they work for other people.
Matthew, I'm just like really confused on like what point we're debating.
And you're playing stupid.
So Matthew, I'm really confused on what point we're debating. Are you trying to tell me that the IRS was not paid $96.7 billion in taxes from undocumented migrants in the fiscal year of 2022? If not, why? How come the House Republicans reported that? And how come Trump is going to the IRS to identify undocumented migrants today?
No, Dean, I'm just asking you, do you think illegal immigrants just volunteer to pay taxes?
Well,
they can get paid under the table.
I mean,
That's how this conversation started.
I don't really think that like most people would like volunteer to pay taxes, but the fact of the matter is that most employers, including family-owned businesses, require their employees to file given a W-2, which would include tax withholding. Like even when you're referencing like family-owned businesses, well, what is it? Like businesses that gross under 200K per year are like the most likely to be audited by the IRS. So I mean, like even for family-owned businesses, they have their own accountants that like file for their employees, requiring them.
You know what a subcontractor
to be listed under a W-2, right? And then given a W-2, you file with the use of ITINs, right? Now, right? Overwhelmingly, I just like want to put it out there that you cannot like refute the claim that undocumented migrants paid $6.7 billion per taxes to the IRS in the fiscal year of 2022. That's coming from the IRS. That's coming from the House Republicans. As soon as you start denying that claim, you're just denying reality. Okay? Right? Even Trump doesn't deny this claim. This is why Trump is going to the IRS today to identify undocumented migrants. Okay? But let's see if we could identify like a middle of the road here. Okay, because what the middle of the road is in this circumstance is that, Matthew, are you going to listen to me while I'm talking?
Are you ready to get clocked with what you just said?
I'm not ready for Matthew. I'm not ready for your response because I'm still in the middle of my sentence. Like that's all. So actually, no, I'm not ready for you to respond because I'm still in the middle of my sentence. So feel free to unmute yourself so then I could finish speaking. Thank you. So, anyways, to finish my sentence, it's an undeniable fact that in the fiscal year of 2022, undocumented migrants paid over $97 billion in taxes to the federal, state, and local governments. Okay. That's reported by House Republicans, that's reported by the IRS, and that's reaffirmed by Donald Trump. Okay. So, when you say that they didn't pay this amount in taxes, you're denying a fact of reality, and it makes you absurd. There's no relevant distinction between saying that undocumented migrants didn't pay this amount in taxes to saying that Bush did 9/11 or the earth is flat. So be so fucking for real. Now,
Dean,
my
you
second
just
and Matthew, you're still interrupting
made a
me.
great mistake.
I'm gonna go ahead and give you one more interruption before I kick you off the live. Okay? I don't want to kick you. I want to try to have a productive conversation with you, but at this point, your incessant interruptions are making a productive conversation impossible. But I'm making this boundary known now, so you don't accuse me of running when you interrupt me again. Is that clear? Because I'm still not done saying what I want to say.
Yes, that is clear. Let me know when you're done so I can respond.
Yeah, sounds good. I will happily let you know when I'm done. Now, let's try to find some middle of the road here. I think the inevitable conclusion of your claim here is that undocumented migrants are more likely to work under the table and not pay taxes compared to citizens. And we could agree. We could really agree. And you know what? This actually works against you. Because the reason they're less likely to pay taxes and work over the table compared to citizens is because they're not citizens. So, if we were to offer mass amnesty to every single undocumented migrant in this country that does not have residency or citizenship, not only would they pay more in taxes, but they'd also collect higher wages. Woo! Look at that, Matthew. Do you see how the fact that they pay, that they're more likely to accept wages under the table actually points towards the left-leaning view of supporting giving undocumented migrants a pathway to residency or citizenship? Because without any material change of the working conditions of undocumented migrants today, they'll collect higher wages and be more likely to work over the table and pay more in taxes? Crazy shit. Go ahead, bud.
Okay, brother. So this 96.7 billion you're saying came from the House Republicans?
Comes from the IRS originally. I think the House Republicans probably just
Yeah,
reiterated.
you know what
this
else
fact at
came
some
from the
point.
House Republicans? $150 billion that we subsidize them. So you're getting mad at me that I don't believe it's 96 billion in taxes paid, but you don't believe it's $150 billion in net negative or 60 billion in net negative. So I don't know what your problem is. And no, I don't think we should subsidize illegal immigrants. I don't think we should allow illegal immigration.
Okay, so first and foremost, we just literally have different sources, and I've been able to dispute yours. You haven't been able to dispute mine. So for you to equivocate between the IRS and House Republicans, and then also just completely ignore the fact that I was able to tell you exactly why the House Republicans were wrong, and then you weren't able to respond to my counter question of specifically articulating where that $150 billion went to, because if you were to do that,
You know what's going on.
in accordance to the report from the House Republicans, you'd learn that that's actually just all going to citizens. You'd embarrass yourself. So you're never going to do that, by the way. Guys, remember how I asked Matthew that question and he's ignored it? He just pivoted straight to the conversation of disputing the claim that they pay taxes at all. Do we see that? Do we understand how Matthew completely pivoted away from that about 5 or 10 minutes ago?
Let's just chill and
Facts
quit
don't
insulting each
matter.
other.
Facts don't matter to Matthew.
Let's quit insulting each other. But the honest truth is, Dean, you're being a hypocrite because you're saying that 96 whatever billion dollars that was provided by the House Republicans that supposedly I don't believe.
Matt,
You don't believe that
keep up. I just
150 billion
clarified all this.
dollars was subsidized to them.
I literally just
We
clarified
should
this.
just chill out. Quit trying to manipulate people. Inflation is down 2.6 billion. We're taking 16 billion in a month.
I muted you because you moved off topic. I just clarified on this. My source is the IRS. Your source is the House of Republicans. We're not polling from the same source, so there's no hypocrisy even on the surface level. But even deeper, right? I've been able to dispute your source. You've not been able to dispute mine. Thanks.
I hope someone clipped this up for you. Give you a good haircut.
There you go. Another pivot. I think this one's good enough. I mean, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you to
we
engage.
just have a vast different culture between me and you. I don't believe in handouts. I don't think you should allow illegal things to happen in your country.
Sorry, Matthew. I mean, just another mute. The reason why I'm muting you again is because you're pivoting. Like, if you want to stay on topic, what you'll do is you'll respond to my counter question regarding your original claim that $150 billion is expensed to undocumented migrants per year. Once again, the counter question was, can you articulate where that $150 billion was spent? You know, he's not going to be able to do it. Do you want to ask me why I muted you again? Go ahead, pivot. Just kidding. Please don't. And respond to my counter question.
Yeah, the same place you get your information from the $96.7 billion from the Republican House Committee that you said I can.
Why are you gaslighting me? The source is the IRS.
It's all clipped up for you, bro.
Okay. Once again, are you just seriously ignoring my
I'm
counter
just
question?
saying there's a vast difference in our culture. You believe in a strong America.
Is this
I don't.
Matthew? I feel like I'm going crazy. I asked you the counter question. Can you articulate where that $150 billion was spent on undocumented migrants to justify your claim, or not?
Hey, Dean, didn't you say exactly where that $150 billion was spent? Didn't you lay it out like perfectly for everyone in this chat about 15 minutes ago? But yet you're asking me again for what reason?
Well, if you accept my description of where that money was spent, then you would recognize that undocumented migrants are not subsidized overall by our government and net more than they take away.
Well,
because the vast majority of that $150 billion was expensed to the U.S. children of undocumented migrants through American educational programs.
Well, in all honesty, Dean, you never answer my question. Out of that $60 billion net negative, how much of that was, you just started throwing out numbers. You never really answered that question.
So, I did, but you just weren't listening. So I would say around, let's see here. What is it? $120 billion of that goes to the U.S. children, citizens of undocumented migrants. The calculation comes from the fact that Medicare expenses, I would say, around $5 billion per year.
$120 billion on illegal immigrants is what you just said.
No, on U.S. citizen children of undocumented migrants.
U.S. citizen children of undocumented migrants. So how's that work with the Birthright Citizenship Act when both your parents have to, at least one of your parents has to be documented?
I mean, the act that was thrown out by circuit court.
At least, so basically, this act.
That act? Is that the one? I just want to make sure that we're on the same page.
Well, don't play stupid.
It's the same act that was ruled as unconstitutional by a circuit court, right?
You let me know when you're done.
Okay, well, I asked you a question. Is it the same act that was ruled as unconstitutional by a circuit court and a federal judge?
You're asking about federal?
Yes. Yeah. Was it the same?
You're talking about circuit court.
Was it the same Trump act that was ruled as unconstitutional?
Act right now? Is it?
Yeah.
Was it? That's a better
I'm asking
question.
I'm asking you a genuine question. Was it the
that's
bill?
A better question.
Was it the executive order that was ruled as unconstitutional by a court?
You should be asking what is presently.
No, you're not going to answer. Okay, Matthew, you haven't answered a single question I've asked you all day.
Years ago.
No, this is from a month and a half ago.
We got to know what it is, right?
So
we're giving guys.
The Supreme Court
has to giving $120 billion to
the Supreme Court has, upheld the consensus of the interpretation of the amendment in which would grant birthright citizenship, and so has circuit courts in response to Donald Trump's attempt to ban birthright citizenship. We had a federal judge instead of a circuit court that did rule that was unconstitutional. It's not going to happen. Point blank. Period. Yeah. And by the way,
that's why you want to be able to debate in person, because there is no mute button, buddy.
Yeah, don't worry. I click without a mute button too. It's just a little bit more annoying.
Okay, so you
because then I can't. There's nothing I could do to stop that happening. You should see that one clip on my Jubilee episode, the 1v20, where I'm getting talked over for straight up 3 minutes straight, and there's nothing I could do about it at all. Yeah. Hey man, listen, I've re-explained this about 5 times. I guess we could go for 6 or 7. I'll do it, but this is getting very insufferable, Matthew. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm not gonna lie. This is getting very insufferable.
I know it is. I know it is for you, dude.
So you're doing it intentionally? If you're saying that you know that this is getting insufferable, you're saying that you're just
getting worse and worse, dude. Worse and worse with what you're saying. So $120 billion.
You definitely got some big feelings there, Matthew.
Sorry. $120 billion, you said, was given to what? Undocumented immigrants' sons and daughters?
Yeah, they're U.S. citizens.
So $120 billion when they only supposedly contribute 90-something billion in tax. That's $30 billion net negative right there.
Hey, Matthew, how much does if you were to have children, or when you were a child getting subsidized by our government to go through school,
I don't think
you pay in taxes?
I went to public school.
Yeah, so you were subsidized by our government to go to public school. They spent money on you. How much did you pay in taxes then?
Do we gotta be paying extra taxes for illegal immigrants?
All right.
Do you see where your
I don't
common
understand what the
sense
question
might
is.
be flawed?
So once again, my
You
question
see why
for you
no
is,
one agrees with
when
you?
you were in public school, how much did you pay in taxes?
How much did I pay?
Yeah, when you were in public school, when you were like in elementary, middle school, most high school, how much did you pay in taxes?
Did I pay taxes when I was 6 or 7 years old?
The answer would be $0, right? That's kind of how it works out for systems of education for all people in America. Is that when
But the
you were
thing
going
is,
to
my
school?
parents
Hey,
pay
Matthew,
taxes.
you're interrupting.
Undocumented
You're interrupting.
immigrants don't pay taxes.
You're interrupting me again, Matthew. I'm gonna need you to. So what did I tell you? I told you that if you interrupt me again, I'm gonna kick you. So
Of
right
course you
now,
want to kick, dude.
so right now, I should kick you because
You've already
I
done the
made that
damage to
boundary
yourself, huh?
explicitly clear that if you interrupt me again, I'd kick you. And look at where we're at now. You just interrupted
You're a
me.
TikTok debater. That's why.
So I hold boundaries because I'm a TikTok debater. You're not being very
No,
coherent, Matthew.
because
So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to kick you, but I am going to respond to your claim. So like, okay, so Matthew, I'm still speaking. Are you listening?
I'm trying to fucking respond to you at this
Well,
point, but you won't let
can't
me.
because I'm still speaking, Matthew. Typically,
Well, because you know you just
I'm
made a horrible
you're doing
point.
You're doing it again, Matthew. I haven't even made a point because you've stopped me by interrupting me. And if I did make a horrible point, why are you so willing and interested in interrupting me? I don't know. Typically, when I have a guest on a live making a horrible point, the last thing I want to do is interrupt them, okay? Because I want them to be able to make them look stupid to thousands of people that are watching. So if I was truly making a horrible point, you wouldn't be interrupting me every single 5 words I make. Okay? So now I'm going to finish speaking without your interruption. I want you to put a bubble in your mouth. Be an adult. I know it's hard. I'm going to go ahead and finish. So yes, billions and billions and billions, trillions of dollars are expensed on the federal, state, and local level for the education of young students. Yeah, that is true. Why? Well, one reason is we just want to ensure that individuals are educated, but an economic reason is it's a long-term ROI, leads to a higher skilled labor force. All right, so it generates long-term gain. So right now you're critiquing like $100 to $120 billion that is expensed out for the education of U.S. citizen children of undocumented migrants. Well, it actually ends up benefiting this country more in the long term. Crazy shit, right? Now, I'd also like to point out, specifically speaking, that you also said that the parents don't pay anything in taxes. We've already went over that they do. And then also, once again, the conclusion of this position is that undocumented migrants only take in like $30 billion in like subsidies from the government per year. Meanwhile, they pay close to $100 billion in taxes. And you want to know what would like cost our government a lot in reference to undocumented migrants? Mass deportation. It costs $175 billion up front, not to mention the $100 billion in reoccurring opportunity costs and the other miscellaneous opportunity costs that are caused by forcefully removing millions of individuals from the American labor force. So now that we understand that education of children is important, benefits the economy in the long term, and that the children of undocumented migrants, if born in America, are American, seemingly you've got to concede that, yeah, undocumented migrants do provide a net positive to this country.
All right, may I respond now?
Yeah, Matthew. I mean, I don't really think that you're going to respond with anything.
Now, please don't cut me off.
Whatever Matthew's about to say is very likely to not be meaningful. So I just push you to like making it meaningful.
So give me about 1 minute. You're saying I paid zero taxes because I was federally subsidized to go to public school. My parents paid taxes. The thing is, when you have illegal immigrants as your parents, they don't pay taxes for you to go to school. They may pay taxes on what they bring home from work. But guess what? We're giving $120 billion to illegal immigrants whose parents can't pay taxes and wouldn't volunteer to pay taxes. My parents, however, since they have a social security number, have to pay taxes for me to
Only muting you
go to
because
public school.
only muting you because of the blatant misinformation that I've already corrected 10 times. Undocumented migrants do pay taxes, $100 billion per year with ITINs. I thought that we already agreed on this as a consensus. This is coming from the IRS. This is also why Donald Trump is asking the IRS to provide him records of undocumented migrants that pay taxes to them through ITINs. Now just continue your point without spreading blatant misinformation.
Dean, you just said hundreds of $billions a year is
No,
what
I said
illegal.
$800 billion. You just simply misheard
Okay.
me. I
Yeah, so
apologize
it's
if I didn't make myself clear.
So let's both agree it's 96 point something billion, right? And you
Wait,
said,
I thought that we disagreed about that because you just said that they don't pay any taxes.
look, we're going to talk about this right
No,
now.
not a look. You straight up just
No,
said that they don't pay any
I
taxes.
know you're tripping right now because you're just so caught in all this bullshit.
Matthew,
that
you're
saying.
making me trip. You just said like 2
You're
times
tripping
that they
right
don't
now,
pay any
dude.
taxes.
I don't want to stress you out too much. Hair might fall out.
Dude, it is. This is shit that is gonna make me bald in the next 5
yeah,
years.
so chill
because we
out.
have people like you who make the claim twice that undocumented migrants don't pay anything in taxes, but then you're like, we agree that they pay close to $100 billion per year in taxes. Like, which one is it, Matthew? It can't
Yeah,
be
and
both
you
at
want-
the same time. It's either one or
Okay.
the other. So which one is it?
Again, Dean, you won't agree there's a $60 billion net negative.
Oh, you're pivoting. Now you're pivoting. I've already addressed it, and I will address it
Numbers
to you again.
matter,
I
Dean.
don't mind. Yeah, numbers do matter. If numbers matter, then why are you saying on one hand they don't pay anything in taxes, then on the other hand they pay $100 billion in taxes? Matthew, which one is it without pivoting this time?
Yeah, so 150 billion subsidized, 96.7 billion.
Pivot. Which one is it? You made the
Of
claim
course.
twice that they don't pay anything in taxes, and then you made the claim that we agree that they do pay $100 billion in taxes. Which one of those claims is true?
TikTok debater.
Cute. Answer my question.
So
Wow, thank you so much for
96.7
the
billion paid in taxes.
Okay, so you admit that you were
150
lying when you
billion
said they didn't pay
subsidized.
anything in taxes, right?
150 billion subsidized.
Matthew, so you admit that you were lying when you said that they didn't pay anything in taxes. Gagged.
Now you're trying to gaslight, and I feel bad.
Wait,
for you,
I'm not
dude, 'cause
wait.
a lot of this
I'm not
shit's clipped
gaslighting.
up, dude. A lot of this shit's clipped
I'm not
up, so
gaslighting.
you can
Chad,
try-
did he say twice that they didn't pay anything in taxes?
I said, why would they volunteer to pay taxes? That's what we
No,
talked about.
that's simply not true at all.
Yeah, and then you said
Wait,
ITIN.
I'm
Is that
so
work
sorry.
only?
I'm so sorry. If you didn't say twice that they pay nothing in taxes, how come over 6,000 people heard it? I mean, actually, let me get you like the closer amount. So we have
Here, we
6,000
got this
listeners
clipped up, dude.
on
It
TikTok
don't matter.
and 2,000 on YouTube. How come 8,000 people heard you say that they don't pay anything in taxes twice?
I'm not even going to respond to that stupid ass question. Dude.
I think it's a
Seriously.
very valuable question, Matthew. I think that you need to stop.
So for
I
the
think that you need
fifth
to
or
stop
sixth
lying.
time, why would they volunteer taxes when they can pay it under the table? That's what I said. So just get over with it. Your whole party is fucking discombobulated. You guys,
Matthew, the only thing discombobulated here is you.
Bro.
Like unironically, I've already responded to this 6 or 7 times.
Dude, I will say you are very smart to have to lie and manipulate this good to all these fuckers like that believe it. But the truth is, on top of that, let's bring up another point. You guys said the stock market's crashed.
Matthew,
Percent.
no. We're gonna do this spam mute until you stop talking. Unfortunately, wait for him to stop talking. He'll get tired. Well, just wait until he gets tired, everyone. 5. Okay, still at it. You know, like the 10-minute timeouts you got to do in the corner for the toddlers. This is the equivalent. I typically do this when my guests are just like losing it. You know what I mean? Okay, he's done now. Okay, Matthew, you just said that I'm lying and manipulating everyone. Okay, that's simply not true. Okay, the reason why I'm saying that that's simply not true is because you made the claim 2 times that undocumented migrants don't pay anything in taxes. Okay, so then I clarified that you were wrong. Okay, I give you a source from the IRS. It would repeat that they pay $96 billion per year in taxes. Okay, then you said, okay, Dean, we agree. So you said twice that they don't pay anything in taxes, and then you said once that they pay close to $100 billion per year in taxes. I then asked you, which one is it? Do they not pay anything, or do they pay $100 billion per year? You affirmed that the second was true, that they do pay $100 billion per year. Okay. And then when I asked you to please just admit and acknowledge the fact that you lied twice when you said they don't pay anything, you called me a gaslighter, and you claimed that you never said that. Okay. Well, that's not true, because you did claim that. Okay. I heard it, and then 8,000 people watching heard it as well. If you cannot acknowledge that you lied 2 times, I'm going to move on to the next guess.
You're gonna run, Dean, but the ITIN number, when I asked how do they pay their taxes, because I literally asked you how do they pay their taxes. Do you not understand what I asked you? I said, how do they pay their taxes? And you gave me this whole spiel on the ITIN number.
Right.
Okay, so if I'm asking how do they pay their taxes, how am I saying they don't pay taxes?
So you claim like explicitly twice that undocumented migrants don't pay taxes. The context in which you made this claim twice was saying that the parents of the U.S. citizen children that are subsidized by our government to go to school don't pay taxes. Okay, you said that twice. So
Okay,
I gave you the claim that you made
so
twice, as well
ITIN
as I gave
number.
you the context twice.
So when they pay taxes through their ITIN number, is that purely for work?
Yeah, an ITIN through W-2, that's purely for work.
Purely for work.
Oh, and no, not all. Also, yeah, well, what they pay through their ITINs is purely for work.
Well, don't try
But
and
then you also gotta
manipulate now,
include-
dude. Just
You also got
be straight.
This isn't
Be
me
a straight
manipulating.
shooter here.
You don't even know what I'm about to say. How could you say that I'm manipulating? Pipe the fuck down. So yeah, the taxes that they pay through ITINs are purely for work as it relates to W-2s. But then you also have to calculate for property tax and sales tax.
Okay. So ITIN numbers, these guys are paying $97 billion in taxes. We're getting subsidized $150 billion. That's a $60 billion net negative.
I've already answered this, Matthew.
and so-
Acknowledge the point, or I'm going to kick you. Acknowledge the point, or I'm going to kick you. You claimed twice that they don't pay anything in taxes. Acknowledge that was a lie.
And you concede.
I'm not running if I kick you because you won't acknowledge that you lied twice, Matthew. That's not me running at all. Okay?
Let's go.
Like when you walk into a Walmart nude and then the security kicks you out, they're not running from you. They're enforcing their rules for the betterment of the people in the space. Okay? Like when I say that I'm going to like remove and kick people from my live stream that can't acknowledge that they like told blatant lies, that's not me running. That's me enforcing the rules for the betterment of the people in the space. So do you have anything to say about the fact that you like intentionally lied twice when you said that undocumented migrants don't pay anything in taxes?
There's one absolute question for you, Dean. If you can answer
you
this,
can't
I'll
make the
fucking
acknowledgement.
answer anything for you, dude.
Why can't
How
you
are
make the
they paying
acknowledgement?
taxes to the
Why
school
can't,
system?
why
Are they
can't you
paying
make
taxes
why
to the
can't you
school
make the
system?
acknowledgement? Why can't you make the acknowledgement? Acknowledge that you lied.
You detail for detail our exact conversation that I asked, how do they pay taxes? You said ITIN number. That's work only. So how are they paying taxes for work? Work only to subsidize their kids in school that you said 120 billion is getting subsidized for school. How's that work?
Matthew, where do you think your money goes when you pay taxes?
Being stupid right now.
No, I think you are. Where does
No,
your
I
money
think
go when
you
you
are.
pay taxes?
I think you're playing stupid right now, dude.
Matthew, answer my question. Where does your money go when you pay it in taxes?
The government, the federal government.
And then not just the federal government, state and local governments too, okay? But when you pay taxes to the federal, state, and local governments, they then what? They then take that money and they spend it on a diverse amount of things, okay? Right? Including education. And that's going to be the most predominant on the local level, okay? So when you sit here and you tell me,
60
how
billion
are there,
net negative.
let me speak. Well, another pivot. When you ask me, how are
Same
they paying
here.
taxes to subsidize children learning in school when they're paying taxes purely through work? Okay.
That's
I mean, that's what
96.7
Matthew,
billion.
Matthew.
Yes. You're missing the whole point here.
I'm gonna need you to follow me
60
here.
billion net negative.
Matthew, this is unreal. I'm
and you
seriously.
still
I'm
can't figure it out. dude.
Matthew, 5, 4, 3, 2. Thank you. So you asked me how could they pay taxes to subsidize children in school and they're paying taxes purely for work, purely through work? Well, the taxes that they pay purely through work are then like noted as income by federal, state, and local governments. And then the federal, state, and local governments turn around and use that income on a lot of things, including like expenditure on education.
Cool. So they're paying 97 billion in taxes, and they're getting subsidized 150 billion. So that's a 60 billion net negative. And
thank you
you're
so much for the
part of
money as
that
well.
because you're America last. You're not America
So I've,
first.
I've already clarified.
And that's
on
what's
this.
wrong with your party.
Hey,
And
I've
that's
already-
why you guys don't understand
already-
business and can't buy a permit and don't know how shit works when you go
I've already clarified on this claim as well. Just
at a college campus.
I've already clarified.
You
on
guys
this-
live in fantasy land where men are women and women are men.
I've already clarified on this claim as well. Like the vast majority, Matthew, I've already clarified on this claim as well. The vast majority of the 150.
It's normal people.
I've already clarified on this claim as well. The vast majority of also just like the random fucking transphobia. When Republicans start crashing out because
You
they're losing the
demonize
debate,
normal people,
hey
dude. You,
Matthew, you're interrupting me. Can you stop? So like whenever Republicans start losing a debate, they just start attacking trans individuals. They do it every time. But anyways, without the transphobia this time, not only because it's wrong, but because it also gets the life taken down. Hope, thank you for the galaxy. I've already clarified on the claim that they're subsidized $150 billion per year. That claim is just analytically false. That claim is seriously not true. And I've already given you a description insofar as why that's not true multiple times. Multiple. It's getting egregious that I have to repeat this.
you're number
like the 10th.
one.
Matthew,
number
you're
one
interrupting me
fan,
again.
dude.
You're interrupting me again, Matthew. You're crashing out.
I don't
Are
even
you
care
running
at this
from me?
point, dude.
Are you running from me, Matthew? Stop running from me, guys. He's interrupting me to run from me, guys.
Yes.
Stop. Yo. Wait, nobody cares?
I don't even care at this point, dude.
Okay, then why are you on
It's
the
over
live?
for you.
Then why are you on the live? Why you're running
Because I
from me
already
right
did
now?
my job here, bro.
Okay, so you're running from me. Got it.
No, I just killed liberal delusion. That's all I did.
The only thing that you killed was a relationship with any woman in your life, but you did that a long time ago. Now,
I didn't
I'm
any
going to go
other
ahead and
relationship.
clarify on what you said that was incorrect. Or okay, he's crashing out. Everybody just wait for him to, wait for him to stop crashing out. It's gone. Just
Only
let me
need one relationship, bud.
let me know when you're done crashing out. Okay? Because like this is seriously not a good look for you at all, Matthew. So when you make a point in a debate and then the liberal refutes that point, okay, and then you act like a kid and you go, la, 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 I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to interrupt you and then even tell you to your face that I don't care whatever you could have to say in response. Yeah, it makes you look pretty bad, Matthew. Okay? All right? But listen, I'm a good guy. I want to give you an opportunity to correct this behavior. So like right now, if you could do one thing for me, that'd be great. The one thing that I want you to do for me right now is just step back, take a second to recollect, okay? Stop interrupting so I could finish the point. Because if you can't even have a debate with me, which implies you not interrupting me every single fucking 4 words, I don't know why you're here, okay? So anyways, once again, I'll go ahead and refute this claim for the billionth time. The claim that undocumented migrants are subsidized $150 billion per year by our government is analytically false. The reason why that claim is analytically false, 110% certainty it's as false as the claim that the earth is flat is false, is because a vast majority of that expenditure goes to the children of undocumented migrants who are U.S. citizens. Okay? In order for you to yield the conclusion that undocumented migrants are subsidized $150 billion per year, you have to consider citizens, undocumented migrants. You have to say U.S. citizens with social security numbers are undocumented migrants in order to yield the claim that undocumented migrants are subsidized $150 billion per year. There's nothing you could say to change that fact. It is undisputable.
You're tweaking right now. Swerve in that corner. Whoa.
Let me guess, you're gagged. Because you can't dispute an undisputable truth.
Oh, no. We can just go straight back to birthright citizenship. If both your parents aren't documented, then guess what? It is what it is. You got to have at least one parent who is a U.S. citizen. So why are we federally funding non-U.S. citizens? It's that simple.
Okay, well, I want to clarify the claim that you just
Why
made
it's
is
so
false.
easy for me to debate you?
Hey,
You're a very smart guy, but I just use this common sense thing here, my brain, what's between my head, and it's like I can take down any
Hey, Matthew, the claim that you just made is false.
level of education you have is fucking out the window.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reiterate that what you just said was not true at all. No, we do not have any current legislation in which would qualify the children of two non-citizens that are born in this country as a non-citizen themselves. In fact, right, the Constitution protects the children of undocumented migrants that are born in this country as citizens, and circuit courts and federal judges have upholded that ruling in response from executive orders by Trump. Okay? It is an undisputable fact
Howard,
that
brother.
the children of undocumented migrants born in this country are U.S. citizens.
It is what it
The
is.
14th Amendment has even been held as true to contest the executive orders from the Trump administration. Okay? I just want to make that one clear.
So what do you have against birthright citizenship if they're literally saying you can be a U.S. citizen? Let me finish.
Don't do this. No, I want you to either affirm or deny. Affirm or deny that it is an absolute fact that today in America, children of two non-citizens, if they're born in this country, are American.
Okay, slow that down and ask that question real slow.
Affirm or deny the following fact
Okay.
that anybody born in this country is an American.
Anyone born in this country is American. No, you have to have at least one parent who is a U.S. citizen.
Okay, according to what law?
Birthright citizenship.
The interpretation of birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment would even apply to the children of two non-citizens
It's that
in this
easy,
country.
dude. See, you got to be extra smart because you got to manipulate and pull all this bullshit. When I just got to tell the truth.
Wait. What law?
I just got to tell the truth.
Hey,
bro. That's
Matthew.
all I gotta do.
According to what law does one of your parents have to be a citizen?
Whoa.
Hey, Matthew. According to what law does one of your parents have to be a citizen in order to have birthright citizenship?
I'll say it again. At least one of your parents has
According to what law?
So I'll say it again, I guess. According to birthright citizenship.
Birthright. The term birthright citizenship isn't a law. You're so fucking stupid.
Whoa.
So you can't name the law. I just want to clarify, right?
Good, dude. I just named it 3 or 4 times for you.
The term birthright citizenship isn't a law.
Quit tweaking.
What's the penal code of birthright citizenship? The law?
Oh, you want the exact penal code?
I want the exact law. Yes, Matthew.
Okay,
That's kind
I'll
of the
get
question that I'm asking you.
penal code for you.
Fucking hatch better. That's what's going on. He's like trying to rage bait now that he's lost the debate. But obviously it's not working on me today. And honestly,
Just stop, bro. Just stop with your manipulation. Just chill out. Just be honest with people, and you won't go down as like.
so Matthew, do you have the law?
Yeah, I'll get
What
the
is it?
exact penal code for you.
So do it, Matthew.
Okay.
It's actually protected by the Constitution. Funny enough. Yeah. So if you know your constitutional law, at least to the extent that any American should, birthright citizenship for all people is protected under the 14th Amendment. In fact, that is the literal language of the 14th Amendment. Is that birthright citizenship is extended to all people born in this country. And then on top of that, this is backed up by case law in the 19th century. So when I asked him the question, what law
Before I
says
give you
that
this
one of your
penal
parents
code,
says it doesn't
Dean,
exist?
Why don't you remind everyone why we brought this up in the first place and why it's so
Nope, you're going to
important?
give me the law now. Thanks.
You won't do that.
Yeah, because I want you to give me the law. That's all. I don't know what to say. Like you're making a false
Here it is.
claim. Tell me the law.
Donald Trump passed Executive Order 14160, birthright citizenship. At least one parent, in order for your son, daughter to be born here in America, you have to have at least one parent who is a documented United States citizen, which I don't have any problem with. I don't think if you sneak to our borders and you fuck here and have a kid, then automatically the kid is a U.S. citizen and you're still not.
Hey, Matthew. You
Hey,
know what I
Dean.
want you to do? Let me know
What do you
when
want
you're
me to do, Dean?
I want you to go to Google and type in American Civil Liberties Union. Federal court blocks Trump's birthright citizenship executive order. Fucking hell, Matthew.
No.
Fucking hell.
So I'll
Fucking
do
hell.
that right-
A
I'll do
federal
that right
judge threw out the EO and ruled it unconstitutional. A federal court took that executive order from Trump and said it violates the 14th Amendment. So guess what? Guess what? This law that you're saying requires one of your parents to be a citizenship in order for you to have citizenship as
And that
well.
just happened
was
today, right?
ruled
That happened
as-
today?
No, this
Yeah,
happened
May
on
1st.
February 10th.
Okay. So when
Oh my
did it get
God.
passed?
Oh God. And then guess what? He then took it to an
When did
appeals
it get
court.
passed?
And then guess what? He took it to an appeals court. And then that was rejected on February 20th. Do you want to know what my source is for that? Reuters. U.S. appeals court rejects Trump's emergency bid to curtail birthright citizenship. So in other words, Donald Trump signed an executive order into law stating that you can only have birthright citizenship if one of your parents is citizens. It was thrown out by a federal court. He then went to a U.S. appeals court, and then they offered an emergency rejection of it. Damn.
What's wrong with
Damn.
that?
So what's wrong with
So
that
against
is that
Trump
two
doing
federal
that.
courts ruled that the piece of legislation you are offering to us to justify your original claim that you could only be a citizen if one of your citizens is the citizen, if one of your parents is a citizen as well, has been ruled as unconstitutional by a federal
remind me
court
why we're
and then
talking
by a
about this
federal
again?
appeals court.
And remind me why we're
No,
talking
no, no,
about
no, no. Respond to exactly what I'm saying. Say, Dean, I lied to you when I said that there's a current executive order in which does legislate that birthright citizenship does not apply to the children of undocumented migrants. Say it.
Because
Say
in
it with me,
January
Matthew.
you did.
Say
In
it with me,
January you
Matthew.
did.
It was blocked by
January-
a federal court in February.
Yeah, in January you did. So can I really say that? No, I don't think I can.
Wait, you cannot. So wait, I just want to clarify.
Executive
that
order
I-
January. Maybe
So
it
I just
got-
want to clarify that today, right, Matthew? Today, do the citizens of
I'm
undocumented
against
migrants born in
that.
America have
I'm against
citizenship?
that. I don't think you should be able to.
I don't
just
care about
sneak
you.
in
No, no, no.
and
You're
have a
equivocating. You're equivocating. You're saying it's not. I don't care what you should think. We're talking about what is the case. So is it the case, right, that children of undocumented migrants in America that are born in this country have citizenship today?
As of today, yes. As of January, no.
As of January, even no, right? Because it was unconstitutional even then. That is
No,
what the
executive order,
federal court
executive power
ruled.
is what it is.
Okay, so now that you've agreed that the children of undocumented migrants are indeed citizens, then you concede that no, undocumented migrants are not subsidized $150 billion per year.
Would I do that?
Because your argument against that to affirm
would
that
I
they are
concede that?
subsidized $150 billion per year was to
I would
consider
never
the
concede
citizen
that.
children of
That's true.
undocumented migrants, but you just agreed that they're not undocumented migrants. You agreed they're citizens.
I will never concede that they're getting $60 billion of our U.S. taxpayer money.
Okay, I just kicked them.